police pursuit on the interstate in Jacksonville. This is what the scene looked like where it ended earlier tonight. Several police cars you see right here surrounding a car on I-95 South.
Getting an update tonight on the death of a Jacksonville rapper.
This is the video here from his Instagram.
Surveillance video from outside that club shows how two suspect vehicles continued to follow Jones, just as they did at Teasers, and eventually to the Home 2 suites near USF.
Evening, Keith. Well, for the first time, detectives shared very detailed evidence in the case, showing a horrifying picture of the rapper's car shot 31 times. And that's when the night took a deadly turn, when 31 shots were fired directly into his car.
His phone was in a car that was tracked at these different places, but yet my client was never seen getting in and out of that car and was never identified as a person who was a shooter.
You see them carrying a bag large enough to what? Carry 2 AK-style rifles. That was the whole intention of this trip to Tampa.
The unfortunate murder of Julio Foolio has led to a plethora of YouTube and social media creators spewing lies and misinformation, some even going so far as saying that Alicia was partying with Julio Foolio the night of his murder, uploading erroneous videos of another female who had nothing to do with his murder, enough to put the young woman's life in danger. Some even claiming that Isaiah Chance was caught with shell casings from the actual murder scene. I swear, man, you can't make this up.
Time now 6:32. New details this morning in the murder of Jacksonville rapper Julio Foolio. One of the 4 people arrested in connection with Foolio's death will have a hearing today. The state asking a Hillsborough County judge to deny bond for Isaiah Chance, saying he poses a threat to the community. He has pleaded not guilty. Police also arrested Sean Gaithright, Chance's girlfriend Alicia Andrews, and Rashad Murphy in connection to that murder. This morning, new evidence shows Gaithright is linked to a previous attempt to kill the rapper, whose real name is Charles Jones. Last year, investigators say they found a pistol, rifle, and a spent rifle casing after arresting Gaithright at a traffic stop. Those casings matched 2 different shootings before Jones's death, a separate homicide in May and a shooting last October in what investigators said was an attempt to kill Jones. Investigators said that shooting was the result of a deadly ongoing gang feud in Jacksonville. Police are still looking for Murphy's cousin, Davion Murphy.
News headlines on both television and social media pages of the local news stations covering the murder of Julio Foolio have begun to become repetitive.
Tonight at 6, these 3 people are all facing murder charges in the death of Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio.
Do want to give an update to some breaking news that we have been following since overnight. We know a man named Rashad Murphy has been arrested. He is one of 5 people wanted in connection to the murder of rapper Charles Jones, aka Julio Foolio.
To that major break in the shooting death of local rapper Foolio, JSO and Tampa police announcing 3 arrests and releasing new surveillance video of the night of his murder, showing armed men surrounding a Holiday Inn and eventually Foolio's car.
Investigators claim Foolio's death was the result of retaliation in an ongoing Jacksonville gang war. All of the suspects are documented gang members of ATK in 1200, both of which have been involved in a decade-long feud between Foolio's gang, 6 Block. On the night of his murder, suspect vehicles followed Foolio to a final location, a Home 2 Suites, where 3 shooters armed with 2 AR-style rifles got out of an Impala and sprayed Julio Foolio's vehicle with bullets, killing him and injuring 3 others.
In the early morning hours of Sunday, June 23rd, Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones arrived at Teasers Gentlemen's Club in Tampa for a paid performance.
He's the gentleman wearing the red beanie hat.
That's Tampa Police Homicide Detective Juan Ramos identifying the rapper, known as Julio Foolio, in new surveillance video from the club's parking lot. Suspects Alicia Andrews, Isaiah Chance, and Sean Gaithright watched this video in court Thursday, too. All 3 faced charges in Jones's death in what investigators say was an ongoing rival gang war. After leaving Teasers, the rapper went down the street to Truth 18 Nightclub for an after party, posting on social media in live time.
This is the video here from his Instagram.
Surveillance video from outside that club shows how two suspect vehicles continued to follow Jones, just as they did at Teasers, and eventually to the Home 2 Suites near USF.
They're approaching the victim's position on foot.
Video from the hotel and a parked Tesla showed three shooters firing several shots at the vehicle Jones was riding in, killing him. With video playing such a big role in this case, Gathride's attorney pushed back.
Once again, there is no actual video or identifiable footage that shows that Mr. Gathright was physically present at Home 2 Suites. Is that correct?
Correct.
The state presented a picture from Gathride's cell phone taken one day after the murder, showing a bottle of Don Julio. The detective testified that, based on gang knowledge, this represents an insult to the rapper Julio Foolio. Here's Gathride's attorney.
Were you able to ascertain if my client, Mr. Gathright, was the one that actually purchased Don Julio?
No.
So anybody could have been at that club and purchased it?
Yes, of course.
In Tampa, Ariel Placencia, Fox 13 News.
Investigators said the three shooters dressed in black were identified as Rashad Murphy, 30 years old, Davion Murphy, 27 years old, and Sean Gathright. These are the details that continue to be replayed over and over again throughout news coverage of the crime.
News Channel 8's Lenny Supal was in court for that hearing today. She joins us live tonight with more details. Lenny.
Good evening, Keith. Well, for the first time, detectives shared very detailed evidence in the case, showing a horrifying picture of the rapper's car shot 31 times as he rolled into a hotel parking lot near USF. Prosecutors say that Julio Foolio was the target of a carefully calculated plan, but tonight, defense attorneys shedding light on a different side of the case. Tonight, a closer look at the birthday celebration that ended in the brutal death of a Jacksonville rapper. Charles Jones, known as Julio Foolio, was shot and killed in the parking lot of a Tampa hotel back in June. Today, 3 people charged with his murder in court. All 3 are from Jacksonville, and evidence shows all 3 were in Tampa the same night Julio Foolio was killed.
3 gunmen can be seen on video coming from where the Impala was parked, and they approached the victim's position on foot and began shooting at him.
Prosecutors say the shooting was gang-related and the suspects were on a mission to kill.
You see them carrying a bag large enough to carry 2 AK-style rifles. That was the whole intention of this trip to Tampa. They came heavily armed.
Investigators believe the suspects followed the rapper's social media posts to locate him, their cell phone activity matching his exact path from various clubs to his hotel, but defense attorneys disputing that claim.
His phone was in a car that was tracked at these different places, but yet my client was never seen getting in and out of that car and was never identified as a person who was a shooter.
Julio Foolio's family was also inside the courtroom today. They were quiet when the hearing wrapped up, but you could see the pain in their eyes, especially because there's another suspect, Davion Murphy, who is also on the run. Police say he's considered armed and dangerous. Reporting live in Tampa, Lenny Supal, 8 on your side.
However, what has not been updated is the manhunt for Davion Murphy, whom is still at large. The last report made was a scare tactic often used by law enforcement and the FBI to smoke individuals out who are on the run. That tactic is to broadcast over the news that they know where the suspect is and are closing in on him. It is this tactic that typically triggers suspects to make a move, in which then they would be apprehended. The Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, aka SWAT team, are a group of agents that pass a rigorous fitness and marksmanship process to join the team. Once on the team, these agents are tasked with some of the most demanding and dangerous work, including storming barricaded buildings, surveilling dangerous high-profile suspects, arresting dangerous high-profile suspects, and rescuing hostages. Because this work is so dangerous, SWAT team members are heavily equipped with pistols, assault rifles, and sniper rifles, as well as shotguns.
Of 4 elements, we got our crisis negotiation team, our explosive breaching team, our sniper team, and the entry team. All 4 of those fingers put together make SWAT.
As of current date and time, Davion Murphy, aka Fat Stepper, continues to elude law enforcement.
Now to an update. Another arrest in the death of a rap artist known as Julio Foolio. Police in Jacksonville arresting 30-year-old Rashad Murphy after an overnight standoff at an apartment complex. They say Murphy surrendered just after midnight. Tampa police had been searching for him and 27-year-old Davion Murphy. Right now, Davion is still at large on the run. On Monday, police announcing 3 arrests in the case. And on June 23rd, Julio came to Tampa for his birthday. He shared his location on social media to more than 1 million followers. Video released on Monday shows masked men with guns closing in on his car. All 4 men who have been arrested will be brought to Tampa for their court appearance.
One would believe that such an individual would need a multitude of resources to evade the feds for as long as he has. I'm almost willing to bet they will never catch Davion. If and when he is encountered, he will go out in a blaze of glory that will ultimately end up with him losing or either taking his own life.
In new court documents, investigators say there's evidence linking one accused killer of Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio, to a previous attempt at killing him last year. Jones was gunned down in a Tampa hotel parking lot in June while celebrating his birthday. 3 other people were also hurt in that shooting. The police have arrested these folks: Sean Gathright, Isaiah Chance, his girlfriend Alicia Andrews, and Rashad Murphy. Police are still looking for Murphy's cousin, Davion. News4Jax reporter Aaron Farrar now breaks down the timeline of events and the evidence prosecutors say that they have.
These 18 pages were filed to the Hillsborough County Court asking for all those arrested so far in this case to be held in jail and to offer them no bond. These documents also show that investigators say that one of the gunmen involved in this case was found with shell casings related to an attempt to shoot and kill Jones last October. Police say this surveillance video capturing the shooting death of Charles Jones, Julio Foolio, in June is a crucial piece to a long story. What's new in these court documents? Gathright was arrested during a traffic stop in Jacksonville where investigators say officers found a Glock 9mm pistol, a rifle, and 9 spent rifle casings. Detectives say those spent casings matched 2 different shootings before Jones's death, a separate homicide in May and a shooting last October in what investigators say was an attempt to kill Jones then. Investigators also say while searching Gathwright's house after Jones was shot and killed, detectives found several rifles in a gun safe and at least one that had a brass catcher, keeping those casings from being left at the scene. Investigators say the shooting was a part of an ongoing gang war. In these documents, investigators also say Chance and Andrews used a cell phone and social media to follow Jones and his friends to 3 different locations in Tampa. 2 of those being clubs where Jones was making appearances that he advertised on social media. That's when investigators say they all met in this hotel parking lot and the deadly shooting took place. Gathright, Chance, and Andrews are all expected to appear in court tomorrow afternoon in Hillsborough County for a pretrial detention hearing. Rashad Murphy is still in the Duval County Jail right now. His cousin, Davion Murphy, is still being looked for by police. I'm Aaron Farrar, Channel 4, the local station.
There's a lot of evidence in this case, including surveillance video of the shooting that killed Jones and a list of things found that investigators say tie those arrested to Tampa. You can read this story in full by scanning the QR code on your screen, and that'll take you to news4jax.com.